Hi, my name's Toby, and this is my wife Desiree.
Hey everyone.
And we just wanted to kind of do an origin story of how LZ Reptiles got created. And it's not a long story, but it is kind of a crazy story on how we got started.
So we're in a very busy season of life where I am working full-time. Toby is a full-time firefighter and he is going through paramedic school. And then we have two small children who are in school and sports and all the things. And so Toby's birthday was coming up and we decided to go to a reptile expo. Down here we have Spiky, who we had just received for my son. He had adopted this bearded dragon, and we have a ball python. And so mainly we wanted to go and just kind of check out some things for those two.
Yeah, I wanted to go check out the different morphs. We have a beautiful female ball python. She's a firefly pinstripe ball python, and you'll see her in other videos that we have. She's absolutely gorgeous. But I wanted to go see what the different morphs are. We were just getting into reptiles. Desiree grew up around loving reptiles and different amphibians and stuff growing up and catching them, and I had never owned any of them. So I thought, why don't we go to this expo? Didn't have a lot of time to really plan out a big birthday thing for me because we weren't sure when I was going to start my ambulance rides and stuff like that. So we decided to go to this expo.
And so just walking around checking out booths, the first thing we stopped at was a booth that had dubia roaches. We had done some research, and for our bearded dragon, really wanted to start our own colony of roaches for him to eat because we had started out with crickets and quickly learned that they die off quickly, they stink, and they're noisy.
Yeah, we kept them underneath the terrarium in my son's room with underneath Spiky's terrarium, and they were so loud that they were keeping my son up at night. He's a light sleeper. He'll get up and just the sound of the door opening. So the crickets were a no-go.
So we found this booth and started chatting with the vendor and had mentioned like we kind of wanted to start our own colony, and they so happened to be selling like colony starter cups. And so it had like six, this is what she told me, it had like 6 pregnant females and 1 male in the cup that they were selling. And so we bought that and said check, next on the list, and kept moving on at this reptile expo.
And so as we were going around, we were seeing all kinds of cool reptiles, anything from bearded dragons to a lot of different morphs for ball pythons, many different geckos and different morphs like Neo here, and they even had a caiman. Caiman, if you don't know, is just an alligator. And they only had it for $300. I mean, it was super cheap. Cheaper than some of the morphs that we have in our crested geckos here, but it wasn't what caught my kids' eye. What caught my kids' eye was the 3D printed ones, the 3D fidgets, the 3D printed...
They wanted the toys.
They wanted the toys, right? So as we went into starting this business, we'll get into that in a little bit, but that's what caught their eye. So we went in there and you got like this 11-inch alligator, and we thought, you know,
like a 3D printed alligator.
Yeah, the toy. And so with the amount of detail and the different colors it had in its eyes and its tongue and everything, I thought they were going to say $50-$60 for this thing, and they came back at $20. And I was like, $20 for each of my kids to get a toy, and that keeps them occupied while I look at all the different morphs? Yeah, sign me up. Here's my money, right?
So we got them some 3D printed lizards, and Lily picked out like a creature from the movie Alien. She's never seen that movie, but she thought it was cool, and we were like, okay. So that's our little girl. So we got the roaches, we got the 3D printed toys, and on we were looking at different reptiles, and came upon these little baby crested geckos. And Toby was kind of eyeballing them, and I was like, hey, how about for your birthday present, you get yourself a gecko? And
she didn't have to tell me twice. I mean, look at this little guy. This is the guy I got for my birthday. We named him Neo as a family.
We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. It's too little.
Yeah, we'll have videos on, you know, how to sex these creatures, but long story short, he's too small. Once they get into the juvenile stage, they start growing these pores, and you'll be able to sex whether they're male or female. But So we don't know if he's male or female, but he could be a male. So we named him Neo. Might be Neonet later. I don't know. But
so this is
creature
Neo.
really caught my eye. Just a stunning gecko. And they started telling us about how easy the care was for them. And even this particular breeder gave us a starter terrarium. Kind of like this. And it didn't come with anything on the inside, didn't come with the thermometer or anything like that. It just came with just the box, which is what we needed because we didn't know that a smaller gecko needed a smaller terrarium so they felt secure and they could find their food.
Okay, so we got Neo home and did a really deep dive. Well, actually, first we went to the pet store, got everything that we needed to finish up with his terrarium, like some decor and some little cups for his food. What else did we need? Mainly that was it. And then we just did a deep dive researching everything we could about crested geckos. And I have Loki here. He is our tricolor lily white. He's flamed down right now.
And I have Spoticus. He's our gorgeous ink spot Dalmatian.
Super Dalmatian. So we got into all we could learn about crested geckos and breeding them, and Toby was like, we could do this.
I think it's possible. Definitely be fun.
He was like, we should breed crested geckos. And I was like, okay. We already have a ball python, 2 turtles, 2 dogs, 2 cats. We've had birds, we have a hamster, we have fish. So yeah, I was like, sure, why not? Let's just add it to the zoo here.
But we got a new friend out here.
So this is Princess Peach. She is our red confetti Dalmatian. She is one of our female projects for this year.
She looks really white right now, but when she's flamed up, both sides turn to this beautiful rose red, pink, and then down the dorsal, it's pretty much just white. We were talking about the first steps. We came together, we're like, we could breed these. We took that deep dive into YouTube. We could breed these and make it a business, take our hobby to the next level. And so what we want to do is first come up with a name. That's the first thing you do.
I wanted to incorporate our kids' names into the business. So we have Xander and Lily, and so that is L and Z for Lily and Xander. And then
that made me started thinking about those helicopters again and landing zones and the trainings we do for landing zones in the fire department. And so we came up with
LZ Retiles for Lily and Xander, and our tagline is
your landing zone for all things reptile. And this is our logo that we've created. So now that we have our name, we have our logo, we had all of our tax documents, we had all the business side of it done. The next step was, are we just going to breed geckos? Is that going to be the only thing we do in this business? And we decided that we wanted to go with a 3-prong approach. So with the 3-prong approach, we're going to be breeding crested geckos, and we have videos on what morphs we're going to be lining up. Our 2026 pairing, you'll see that video coming up in the near future. But we also wanted to do the dubia roaches, starter kits like someone did for us at our first expo. So we could feed all of these and feed the bearded dragon, and any future reptiles we might get might require insects as well. And if we can make our own colony, it saves us money. And then the last of the 3rd-prong approach is the 3D printed creation.
We got a Bamboo Lab A1 with the AMS combo. That's our 3D printer. And we were gonna start creating 3D creations for our terrariums, for accessories, and then just for fidgets and toys and anything else we may need.
All right, so as Desiree's been mastering the programming and figuring out the 3D printing portion of it, we knew besides our 3-prong approach of what we're selling, we also wanted to add a 4th component, and that component was the YouTube. We wanted to take the journey, right? We wanted you to see from day 1 to 1 year from now to 5 years from now. Every day, every week, we want to take you on the journey of what it's taken us to do this business. And I'm infamous for all these DIY projects with refinishing the bathrooms and outdoor projects and redoing the floors and stuff like that. I always take the after pictures, right? The ones that look the prettiest, the ones that look brand new. But I never take the before pictures. I always forget about it because I just get into projects that go buy the materials and I go get it done. So I want to take a step back and I want to record the beginning, the middle, the end, the good, the bad, the ugly. We have a video on those too. The bloopers, the ones that we screwed up on. So we're going to take you through this journey with us. I hope you like, subscribe, and follow us into this. We got plenty of new videos coming out, from care videos to feeding videos to different reptiles to breeding to hatching to our first expo, everything and anything in between. We're going to be trying to get them out weekly with short videos throughout the week and then dropping big ones on the weekend. So we're excited to take this journey. We're excited to get started. We finally have all of our breeders in with all of our terrariums here and in behind us. And we'll be taking you on a journey, and we're going from this room to a bigger room that we're building in our basement. I'm super excited, looking forward to this. Fun. We're doing it with our kids.
We love all of our pets, and these geckos are, I think, my favorite. They are just amazing. So thanks for watching, and tune in to our future videos.